It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Friday, September 5th. The Eagles 1-0 to start the year. Oh, and your host for today's show, as usual, me, Ray, here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and Zach working out of his home office today. Is that a bike on your wall, or is that some type of artwork? How are you today, handsome?
Honestly, Dad, what a flash from the past for those of you that watched the original back when we were Your Auto Advocate. Those days, I used to have my green Cannondale bike right behind me. If you go watch the original videos we ever filmed over on the CarEdge channel. We're back to the basics, baby. 6 years later, we still got the bike behind me. Today's show, folks, is brought to you by CarEdge.com. We are in the final 48 hours of our Labor Less, Save More sale. You can get 20% off CarEdge Insights and 20% off our car buying services. On the car buying services front, folks, just to make sure you're all familiar, negotiation expert, $319, typically $400. You know the vehicle you want. You want to let our team of experts do the hard work of getting you the best deal. Or our car buying service. You have a sense for the vehicle that you want. You need us to locate it. And you obviously want us to get you the best deal. Save $200 on the car buying service right now. We are transparent on the deals that we are able to secure for our customers. So play around, view all the deals that we've been able to secure. And of course, the time savings, folks. So proud of our team. We can help out in so many different ways. That being said,
yes.
The lead story this morning, Dad, is the fact that the car market, it is broken. We have an interesting dealer survey that Cox Automotive ran, and I think it starts to show some really interesting data points. I'm going to start here with the second bullet point. Customer traffic slows sharply. After a surge in Q2, customer traffic to car dealerships declined significantly in Q3. The index dropped from 37 to 33, with franchise dealers falling from 50 to 43, a statistically significant decrease. For independent dealers, the overall traffic score remains weak, shifting directionally from 32 to 30 this quarter. That's at the same exact time, Dad, that we are finally starting to see the impact of tariffs. This is new car average listing prices. It is starting to go a little, hyperbolic. The scale here is, influencing that a little bit. But these are your recent trends in online advertised prices for new cars. So we have, Dad, new car prices going up, which you and I seem to talk about every single freaking day. And then this new data showing customer traffic starting to decline at dealerships. I think that's a recipe for broken, correct?
And then I think if you add in what's going on with the economy, and I don't know, that the private sector added 22,000 jobs in August. Yeah, that's a recipe for a broken market, because there's more joblessness, there's less jobs available, prices are up, interest rates are up, traffic's down. What could be better?
Profitability weakens as costs remain elevated. That's another thing that'll drive some brokenness in the car market. Dealer profitability declined in Q3. So there you go. As inventory is actually increasing back up and price pressure intensifies. You just read the the bold parts of the bulleted items here, and it starts to build a pretty compelling case for why things don't look pretty for the remainder of this year for the car market.
Well, I think when you look at that, and if you're in the business, you say to yourself, well, everything's kind of sort of stacked against us. These are not the trends that you want to see in any business. You don't want to see inventory grow. You don't want to see foot traffic, customers coming in decline. You don't want to see prices continually going up. You don't want to see interest rates for financing those prices that have gone up to also be going up. And you don't want to see that, because there's so much pressure that you now have to lower your price in an effort to try and sell this. This is not a recipe for success and growth that most businesses are looking for. I mean, if you were to poll most businesses, what's important to them? Well, we want to grow our traffic. We want to grow our profit margin. We want it to be inexpensive for people to be able to afford to come in and buy our stuff if they have to finance it. And we want as many people as possible to be working and have the capability of affording this stuff. we're headed down a path with this sentiment that indicates everything that you wish to see are not any of the things that we're seeing at the moment. So yeah, I would suggest that the indicators are not good for a healthy car market. Maybe they're good for that 15% of the population out there that can buy,
Well,
but for the rest of us,
I
no.
disagree a little bit, Deb, because I think actually when we say it's not good for the industry, that typically means it's going to become good for consumers, because the more the industry suffers, the more they have to ultimately pull levers to drive down costs or drive down price to get people to buy cars. You're the guy who went viral 6 years ago now for what happens to unsold new cars. There is no such thing as an unsold new car. They
I
sell
get
eventually.
that. I get that. But I think the problem that exists is that even if they have to pull the levers of lowering prices at the dealership in order to move the metal, they are still only going to be appealing to 13 to 15% of potential buyers out there. The vast majority of people are not and do not feel as if they can participate or be in the market for new cars at the price points they're at.
Yeah.
Even if there was some type of decline in pricing, we just once again broke the $50,000 barrier for average asking prices. Well, you would, in order to get some of the 85% of the population out there interested in buying cars again, I think you would have to drop the price significantly below $50,000 in order to get those people to come in. And what would that magical number be in my mind to get people? Under 40 grand.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't dropping $50,000 vehicles to 40 grand in order to move them. That we're not going to see. Maybe they'll drop them to 45. And the people who could already afford to buy the car are going to say to themselves, well, it's too good of a deal to pass up, so we'll buy one. But the rest of us, the absolute rest of us, are still sitting on the sidelines because the prices are too high, regardless of the pressures that they feel.
That being said, there are going to be some opportunities, I think, for those brands that have an oversupply. We even just looked at most recently year-over-year sales totals. And really the only brand that excelled beyond belief is Toyota.
Yeah.
Hyundai, Kia a little bit. But I mean, we saw a lot of the Japanese automakers struggle. Mazda, for example. So I do think in a broken car market, the pressure is not on the consumer to step up and spend more. The pressure is on the automakers. The pressure is on the business to figure out how to sell more. Would not be surprised if Mazda comes with big incentives, for example, because they need to pick up sales. Subaru is another example of a manufacturer whose growth has stalled out. And again, what are they going to do? They're going to lower the prices. But I do agree with your broader sentiment, Dad. And in a lot of ways, the car market really, really, really is broken when you start to look at the latest data we have access to.
Well, and I didn't read the article. I only saw the headline briefly that we're about to we've come to an agreement with the Japanese and which will ultimately lower tariffs on Japanese imported vehicles. I didn't get to read the article. I just briefly saw that as a headline. What that means, I have no idea. Is it going to reduce the tariff from 15% to 10%? I don't know. But either way, if the tariff is higher than what it was at the start of the year, then that means prices are going to be more than what they were at the start of the year. And even that minor help might not be enough for some of these brands to be able to get back what they've lost in the way of sales and what they've lost in added costs to bring those vehicles into the country.
Yeah, what they've lost in pricing power. Let's come here to the chat, and then we're going to switch gears. From James, what can you do on negotiating when you're building to order a truck? Now, Dad, I want you to answer this. Obviously, that being said, I want to remind everyone, not only can you get great information, but it also helps us. When you Google search things and put CarEdge at the end, how to factory order a car, space CarEdge, our how to factory order a car in 2025 guide pops right up. Dad, I'd love, and even the AI overview here, I'll click on this, we'll take a peek at it. But Dad, I'd love your take on this, if you don't mind.
You negotiate the price of an ordered car the same way you would as if the car were sitting on the lot. There are certain benefits to the dealer when you order a car. One of the benefits is that typically you're going to pick up that new car within 72 hours of it having hit the dealership. Well, guess what they won't have? They won't have any floor plan costs associated with that vehicle. What are floor plan costs? That's the interest rate that the bank charges them when the bank buys the car on behalf of the dealership, because the dealership's financing it, and so the floor plan charge is the interest that the dealer pays while that vehicle's sitting on the lot waiting to be sold. Well, if it's only on the lot 3 days, there ain't no interest that's going to be collected. And guess what? Every manufacturer pays their dealers floor plan assistance to help cover the cost of financing their inventory on the lot. So what does that mean for the dealer? Well, suddenly floor plan assistance on an ordered car just becomes pure profit on top of the holdback, on top of everything else. So you can negotiate an order just like it was sitting on the ground. Okay, negotiate your discount and negotiate it in a manner that says, we've agreed upon this price, but whatever that price is, and I am entitled to whatever customer incentives might be available from the manufacturer at the time that I take delivery.
Yep, absolutely.
That's how you do it.
Hopefully that's helpful. Matthew, coming here to your kind contribution, and then another story. Thanks for this. Did my underscript signature on the German, I don't even know that word, yesterday for the Cayman GTSX stick shift lessons available in Leipzig on October 3rd. I mean, that could be interesting to me.
You know, and you've recently said to me, I am so sick and tired of traveling, but if you get to learn how to drive a stick on a Cayman GTS in Germany during Oktoberfest, that's probably not the best time to learn how to drive a stick during Oktoberfest, but it could make for a hell of a Halloween. So I don't, just might have to find out from Matthew where he's going to be and make arrangements to fly over there. And I'll have to be the cameraman, so I'll have to fly over too and record for history's sake.
One more comment here, and then a news story from Gemstar. AI is going to kill everything and replace people. Whoa. You won't be able to negotiate with the dealer AI. Keep that in mind for future reference. So a couple things. I disagree. I think AI is going to supplement and help people. I still think human beings are going to be involved in pretty much everything. So that's my personal opinion. And as dealers bring AI salespeople, AI negotiators to their stores, remember, folks, CarEdge.com/AI. We are the ones building the AI agents that you can use so that you can have your AI agent contact dealers, negotiate on your behalf. Every single day, our team is making this product even better. We have had so many success stories. Now 2,000 people are using the AI negotiator to get them their next car. And we've had tons of success stories. Really awesome to see. So go to CarEdge.com/AI. And then obviously within your CarEdge dashboard, you'll now have access to the vehicles that your AI agent is negotiating on your behalf. So you can see here, I've kind of got this running in real time. I haven't reached out, but 19 days ago, my AI was going back and forth with this particular dealership 7 times, getting me an out the door quote right here. So please, folks, it's not all doom and gloom. I think there's actually a bright spot there when it comes to this.
I'm pretty sure there's a bright spot. We hopefully what our team is developing will make your life easier moving forward in the future. And even if it's our AI agent fighting against the dealership's AI agent, we think we're going to build a better AI agent, and he's going to be smarter, bigger, stronger, faster, and he's going to get you the best deal that you possibly, he or she, depending upon how you want to name your agent.
Exactly. You get to name your agent. Anyway, all right, let's keep it moving here. Matthew, thank you for this as well. Ray, it's fall colors in the Pyrenees with a yellow car. Okay, yeah. Now, Matthew, put me in your frunk, man. I'm coming. I want to be in your frunk. That's a weird sentence. All right, Dad. Let's go in this direction. We talked a little bit yesterday about, or maybe it was yesterday or the day before, EVs in the United States of America. We're just going to start for a second here, and then we'll move on. Yes.
Yes.
Rivian laying off 200 workers, joins General Motors and VW in EV pullback from tax credit repeal. Writing's on the wall. This is another kind of a proof point that the car market's broken to a degree.
Well, it is, and part of it is government inflicted. Part of it is, the group think here in America is, well, we're Americans. You can't tell us what we're going to buy, what we should drive. You don't have the right to tell us that, and so some of it is just part of Americans' rebellious attitude. So,
Sure.
yeah, so there's the situation with EVs, especially with the tax credits going away, where that $7,500 could make or break a car deal. And once that goes away, the end of this month, yeah, I think Rivian and everybody else in the EV space is thinking that it's going to have a significant negative impact on EV sales moving forward, and so they're trying to plan for it. And let's face it, many of the manufacturers have pivoted anyhow, because even though sales for EVs are up and sales continue to go up slightly, it is nowhere near the rate or the pace that every one of these manufacturers thought it was going to be. And so the writing's on the wall for them now that it isn't going to happen as quickly as they thought it would. And they're all pivoting back to ICE and hybrid vehicles to carry them through until, if and when it ever does take off the way they thought it would.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see automakers, more EV automakers go bankrupt, because we saw a lot of that happen years ago. Lordstown comes to mind.
Yes.
There are many others. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Matthew, keeping us busy here. Appreciate you, Matthew. Ray, you can watch Zach free climbing the Pyrenees. I'm not free climbing nothing.
Zach is not free climbing anything. And I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but from what I understand about when you rock climb, there is a person below that is holding on to the other end of the rope for you. That's your belayer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the good belayers typically weigh equal to or greater than the person climbing. And here's my wish for when you climb: that you have hired a retired sumo wrestler from Japan to be your belayer and hold on to the other end of the rope. So if you fall, you ain't really going anywhere.
We've got a lot of really, you've got to be kidding me, like stories that we're going to turn our attention to in a second. But before we do, I want to pull this up from Scott. Your AI tool is not so easy to use or responsive in my personal experience. And Scott, really appreciate that. I put a note in the chat. If you can email me directly, zach@caredge.com. We're working every day to make it better. So we'd really love and appreciate to get the chance to talk to you and learn more. And then from Labrador country, AI is awesome. As my negotiator, my wife and I came home with a used Tahoe last night, and AI got us $1,700 knocked off the price. So guys, this is a brand new product, brand new experience. We think it's going to be really compelling. The least we can do is be transparent up front. Works great. Doesn't work great. We want to hear it. We want to get better. So appreciate everyone that's supporting us as we do it. That being said, Pops.
Yes.
Dealership owner's salesperson charged an alleged exotic vehicle fraud scheme. Let's start here with the crazy news stories of the day. Yeah, what happened?
Well, let's start with how I sent this to you. And my comment was, the profits are so much greater when you sell non-existent cars. You just collect the money and the people never get the cars. And well, this is a perfect example of an exotic car dealer in the Jacksonville area who sold cars.
Never gave people the cars.
Yeah, and when people showed up at the dealership to get the cars, dealership wasn't open. Dealership had closed down. They had run off with your money. There was one guy who wired the dealership $235,000 for his 2019 Corvette ZR1. Got to the dealership, tried several times to track down the owner and the salesperson. Lo and behold, couldn't find them anywhere. Never got a car. So if you want to be extremely profitable in retail automotive, sell things that don't exist, just collect the money. Make sure you collect enough money so that you can run like hell before anybody catches you, because these guys, as bright as they were, well, they got caught.
And Dad, if I'm not mistaken, the same owner
Yes.
is currently being sued by Stellantis.
Yes.
Because they have $3.7 million that they owe Stellantis because they're out of trust on their floor plan. Yeah.
Yes, from when he had Alfa Romeo of Albany. Now, first of all, okay, I don't know what Stellantis was thinking when they said to themselves, "Oh my God, we must have an Alfa Romeo dealership in Albany, New York, because God knows that would be like the Alfa Romeo capital of the world. Everybody in Albany wants an Alfa Romeo." So that was number one. Somebody at Stellantis said, "Yeah, we got to have a dealership there." And then number two, once they approved the dealership, and apparently this guy's a real gem, in my opinion. Apparently, they fronted him a whole bunch of money in floor planning so that he could bring in these overpriced, unwanted Alfa Romeos. And then, he kind of took off with the money. Don't worry about it. It's like, here's how he makes his money. In this case, he brought the cars in, and, he didn't really pay for them.
All right, so we're going down this path of bad actors in the car business. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Former Texas Mitsubishi dealership general manager accused of embezzlement, Dad. This one's another story. This is in Midland, Texas. The GM of Midland Mitsubishi stole between $30,000 and $150,000. What happened here?
Nothing good. He inflated sales numbers so that he could pay himself more, so that he could say that the dealership made more than it did. He had the company write checks to him. It was actually, when you read deep into the article, it was actually much more than between $15,000 and $150,000. Apparently, it was an absentee owner. And sometimes owners don't look at the books as closely as they should. And so for a number of years, he was treating himself pretty good. He was doing good as the general manager of a Mitsubishi dealership. The only thing missing in this story is, well, it probably should have been Mitsubishi of Albany, New York. Could have been a dual point. Could have been Mitsubishi Alfa Romeo.
Where everyone wants to shop.
Well, of course, because it's the automotive capital of the world for any type of imported automobile. The industry is full of a lot of characters. Some good, a lot not so good. I've told you this story. When I was at Admiral Nissan, I had check signing authority. I wasn't a member of the family, but I had check signing authority, and our comptroller created accounts payable for things, and he would write a check, and he would sign my name to it, and then he would cash those checks on behalf of those non-existent accounts. We caught him. Thankfully, the people I worked for understood. They could look at they knew my signature was all over everything in the dealership. Didn't look anything like what was on the checks. There's just a lot of characters, and there has to be a lot of checks and balances in a dealership. I worked for a gentleman that literally he checked every deal that went through his dealerships.
The owner did?
Yes, the owner did. He didn't own just like one dealership. It was 7 or 8. And he checked every deal. He went through every deal packet. He looked at every document and I used to get emails in regards to deals. What happened on this deal? Why did we do this on that deal? And the damn emails were time-stamped 4:35 a.m. Okay, he didn't need a lot of sleep. Okay, and he checked everything. So it was it would have been hard for anybody to be pulling the wool over his eyes. And that's, you have to be, and I think I mentioned this to you at one point when you started business, you have to look at your accounts payable every month. You have to know who you're paying, how much you're paying them, why you're paying them that much. Are you getting what you're supposed to be getting? And this gentleman, I mean, he checked every deal. It just, it sets the tone for how you're going to do business. And you know, there's a, I mean, even with that, I mean, we had a finance guy at our mini dealership who took a cash deposit from a customer, gave him a receipt on the back of his business card. Okay. And it was for several $1,000s. The F&I manager said, you know, if you don't mind, I'm going to run out and grab a bite to eat. He never came back. Okay. He just took the money, never came back. I mean, you know, these kind of things happen, and it's unfortunate. There are, as I say, a lot of characters in the car business, some that are always looking for ways to make money in illegitimate ways. And many of them have figured it out, and many of them have gotten caught. There's basically two types of people that do this: those that have gotten caught and those who will be getting caught. You know, because typically you end up getting caught at some point. Might take 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but at some point you're going to get caught. So you know, I guess for some of these folks, they live it up while they can, and that's what it is.
It is interesting. You know, Automotive News is the industry publication, and 2 stories about fraud front and center today. And it's not the first time we've talked about that. So, you know, it is such a highly considered and high dollar amount transaction. There's so many moving pieces at the dealership. There are lots of opportunities for fraud. It's a bummer, but fortunately, things get rectified. Friendly reminder again, folks, CarEdge.com. Buy a car without the headache. We are here to serve you. Our customers are you, not the dealers. We are your best friend for car buying. With CarEdge Insights or our car buying services, you can get 20% off for another 48 hours. So please take advantage of that back at CarEdge.com. From Rich earlier in the show, is there any truth, thank you, Rich, is there any truth to the rumor that Zach replaced Ray with AI weeks ago? What do you think about that, Pops?
Oh, yeah, I think my circuit's blown.
There you go, folks. My dad is an AI. That is his AI impersonation. Okay, let's end the show. Let's end the show on this story, Dad. Tesla offers unprecedented $1 trillion pay package to CEO Elon Musk. I'm just going to get off the screen. Everything my dad is about to say.
Don't get off the screen because I didn't read the article. I just know that there's you know, some real difficult objectives for him to hit to be able to earn that $1 trillion. The only thing I will say is if there is a company out there that thinks that any employee is ultimately worth $1 trillion, every one of those members of that company needs to have their heads examined. Okay? Nobody, I'm sorry, in my opinion, ain't nobody out there worth $1 trillion. You know, how much money do you have to pay somebody to keep them interested in coming to work and showing up every day? That is just like corporate malfeasance and corporate BS. And by the way, it makes a great headline. You know, and Kent Daigle in here says Elon is worth double that. No, he's not. Nobody's worth that. Nobody is worth that.
I like your approach to that. It's not an Elon Musk thing. It's not a Ray Shefska thing. It's like just literally within any organization, here's what I'm hearing you say is no one's worth that. No one's that special. And I agree with you, Dad. Like, I don't know. That's just bonkers.
Yeah, no one is. I mean, are there bright people in the world that need to be compensated? Yeah, but nobody needs to be compensated $1 trillion friggin' dollars. I mean, come on. So no, I'm sorry. I just maybe I just think that there's better ways to spend $1 trillion.
Jalen Hurts, Dad, would you spend a trill? Oh my God.
Well, you know,
spend a trill.
If they win another Super Bowl, then for sure, yeah, blow up the cap space that the Eagles might have. Hell, do it. Why don't we just do away with hard caps in all sports? Just whatever those guys are worth, just pay them. Come on, nobody, you know, it's like Devin Booker on the Suns, our favorite team, signed a 2-year contract extension, okay, for $150 million. Now, hear me out for a second.
I'm hearing.
There's 82 games in an NBA schedule. 82 games, okay? He's going to get paid $75 million for playing 82 games. At some point, somebody's going to be paid more. And you cannot tell me, regardless of how good a basketball player they are or athlete they are, that anybody is worth $1 million for every game that they play. How does that make any sense? Okay. You know, your doctor can make a lot of money, but they ain't making $1 million for every operation. Okay. I mean, imagine getting, here's $1 million. Go see a patient. That is just so asinine. Better ways to spend our money.
What if you got paid $1 million for every CarEdge live show you did?
Well, I'd be right up there with Elon at this point. But I'm not worth that.
Yeah.
Hell, based on what you pay me, you don't think I'm worth anywhere near that.
I love your approach, though. Like, no. And to be clear, we see this to a degree already with, like, what was Jim Farley's comp? Like 20 million, 30 million?
What do you mean 20 million? Like $28 million, $27 million. And he runs a company that has the most recalls in human history in a year, okay? And he's not worth $27 million. Oh, no, the amount of money so many of these high executives get paid and some of these athletes get paid is absolutely ridiculous. Nobody's skill set is worth, if Elon's skill set is worth $1 trillion, then I don't know, just between you, me, and the lamppost, what would have Albert Einstein's brain have been worth with what he was able to do? Or Stephen Hawking's? I mean, it's
Isaac Newton, Dad. Let's keep going back. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's just there. I don't know, other than it's a free market. I don't know how you justify it. What conceivably can be the justification? Well, you know, he dribbles really well. Okay, great. Oh, he's got a great mid game. Oh my God. You know, this is just it's lunacy that we pay people what we pay them, especially in entertainment and sports, but in industry, I mean, the gentleman that had been running Lucid for years, what was his name? Jim Rollinson or John Rollinson? That company lost billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, year in and year out. And one of those years when they were losing like $3.2 billion, his income was $279 million. Well, my God, imagine what they would have had to pay him if they actually made money. Okay, here's what you get for losing $3 billion, but we'll quadruple that if you make $1 in profit this year. I mean, it is just absolutely ridiculous.
All right, folks, we're gonna call it a show. Tune in on Monday for more CarEdge Live. We appreciate everyone joining us. Dad is going to be in DC starting Wednesday's show, I guess, next week?
Wednesday's show. I come down Tuesday afternoon. The good news is that my new sliding doors, so that I don't know, we'll have good what am I trying to say? I'll have less air infiltration with my new sliding glass doors, and they're going to be installed on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep. So you're going to be here in DC with me.
Yes, I'm going to be in DC so that they can install the doors and I can still do the live show so that you can overpay me. But I'll do it from DC. So yes, I'll be down there Tuesday afternoon. I get in for something.
Can't wait, Pops. All right, folks. Well, enjoy the upcoming weekend. Beautiful weather here on the East Coast, so spend some time outdoors. That's our plan, at least my plan. Hopefully you do the same as well, Dad. And yeah, we'll catch you back here on Monday.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you all back here at noon Eastern Monday.